Morning coffee, afternoon, morning coffee, English business hour. Hope you're all doing very well today. Coming to you in association with LK Formation or LK Formation. Get over to the website lekformation.com. Everything tailor-made to suit your business. Check it out. Hope you're all doing very well today. I'm a bit chilly today. I've got the gilet on. And but I'm feeling good. I've got my tea brewing. I'm waiting for that to get ready, and I've got quite a few different things to talk to you about today to help you with your business English pronunciation, vocabulary, idioms, phrasal verbs. This is the new business English hour whenever it appears for you guys. So I hope you're all looking forward to the end of the week. And then next week, of course, here in the lovely Spain, we have 2 days bank holiday. This is the expression we use in the English world to say national holidays, days off, that kind of thing. So what it essentially is anything that everybody has a day off, we will call a bank holiday. It's a very strange name. I don't exactly know where it comes from. I can guess that it just is when the banks take a holiday. So anyway, that's what it is. And without any further ado, that means without waiting too much longer, let's jump over and see what we are going to talk about today. In the next hour, I'm going to be helping you with different parts of your English. So I'm going to start straight away, and we're going to look at what was in the news last night. Here we have the death of one of the former members of Fleetwood Mac, Christine McVie. We all know this famous band. Well, anyway, if you're of a certain age, you know the band. If you're younger, perhaps you don't, but a very popular band. Macron is in the news. He's on a visit over to the United States today. And William and Kate, the Prince and Princess of Wales, because they have taken the old titles from the parents. And now that's their title. So let's see. Christine McVie, singer of the group Fleetwood Mac. Most people, I think, would be more familiar with Stevie Nicks. But because I'll be honest, I didn't really know about Christine McVie. The singer-songwriter died peacefully in hospital on Wednesday, November 30, following a short illness. Her family announced in a press release she was 79. Often you will say 79 years here in Spain. However, in English, we will either say one of two things. We'll say she was 79. Or she was 79 years old. We won't say the only 79 years. We just do not say this. It sounds something like, perhaps I would say, I've been working, how long have you been working in your company? 79 years. Okay, a bit too long. But for someone's age, 79, just end on the word, and that's the number is absolutely fine. There are no words to describe our sadness at the passing of Christine McVie. She was truly one of a kind, special and talented beyond measure. That was tweeted by the band members. The Times remembers the Briton, so she was from Britain. Often you refer to someone from Britain as a Briton. Sponsoring hits such as Little Lies, Everywhere, Don't Stop, Say You Love Me, and Songbird as a reserved and intelligent artist. Reserved is a word we would use. Let me highlight this word for you up here. Reserved is a nice word to say introverted. Introverted is a bit strong. Reserved, laid back, often you can say laid back. An intelligent artist. The American British rock band Founded, which was when it was started. It was founded in London, 1967, has sold more than 100 million records worldwide, making it one of the most popular bands of all time. Did you notice how I said 100 million? I didn't actually say 100 million. I said 100 million. And this is what we'll normally say for something that is one. So if I'm talking about a person or anything that's one, I was at a business event and a man came over to talk to me, and he introduced me to a woman, and then a woman came over later. So it's for one. We use this so often, and we're talking about numbers, we're talking about anything. So try that the next time. It's a small little change to your English that will make a big difference, okay? Instead of saying one, say They use the article Joe Biden receives Emmanuel Macron at the White House. Yes, that's expected to be interesting. It's the second visit in about 5 years. So that's quite interesting. Expected to be all the bells and whistles, full formal honors given to Macron. There will be the White House dinner. There will be all this. Then I was listening to a business podcast, I think more than likely on The Economist, talking about how recently or before the United States really angered France because they had a submarine deal. And then what happened was it wasn't with the United States. It was with Australia. France had a deal with Australia, and Australia pulled out of the deal. They pull out is when they exit the deal at the last minute, and they decided to do a deal with the United States and the UK. So that really angered France, and now America, the United States, has been doing a lot to heal the wounds, to make things up with France, and now it's expected to be all nicey now. But it's interesting, since Brexit, and when we talk about Europe and the military, France really does have the biggest military in Europe, so that's interesting as well. The United States will want to keep ties with France, and because the UK obviously has exited, and there's important business to be done, because Germany doesn't really, it started its military, but France really would have the biggest military in Europe. Macron's arrival on Tuesday kicked off the first state visit of Biden's presidency, which includes a lavish state dinner on Thursday evening. Okay, right. Okay, and William and Kate in the United States amid a racist incident in Buckingham. The Prince and Princess of Wales touchdown. To touchdown is aterrizar, if I got the pronunciation right, is to touchdown or to land. In Boston on Wednesday, ahead of the second Earthshot Prize Awards, which will take place later this week. CNN reports William and Kate, very nice life traveling around the world, but they have to work hard, I suppose. This is an argument for having a monarchy. Sometimes people feel they are useless, but other people would say very good for doing business. So there was a controversy, and what happened was there was a dinner at Buckingham Palace, and somebody, the godmother, which is, what's the godmother in... Okay, Padrina, the godmother of William, was talking to a woman who had quite a high position, or an important person, and a British woman who was black, and she was at the state dinner in Buckingham Palace, and she said to the woman, so the godmother, who's an older woman, older lady in Buckingham Palace, said to this other woman who's black, where are you really from? And this was highly insulting because, of course, the woman is British. And at the time, nowadays, we're all used to immigration for many, many years. You can be black British, you can be Chinese British, you could be Chinese Spanish, we need to be careful with political correctness. These people were born here, they have the citizenship. Many generations, in fact, have been living in the country. And to say to someone, but where are you really from, is considered politically insensitive and racist. I am from Ireland and my children are growing up here in Spain, and it would be seen as quite innocent to say to my children, perhaps later when they're older, oh, but where are you really from? Well, one of my children was born abroad, but one of them was born here. Now, it seems like an innocent question, and I would see it as innocent, but what really it's saying is, well, you're not real Spanish, because your family name is different or you look different. You're not real, and that's really racist, essentially. So we need to be careful and avoid these type of things, especially if you're doing cross-border business and so on. This woman has been asked to step aside. Okay, now when you're talking about CEOs, CFOs, CMOs, whoever, if they do something bad or if they want them removed, you would say you ask them to step aside. Okay, that means you want them to stop their duties and to move to the side. And if you want them to also step down or step aside. So that is what this woman has been asked to do. And of course, we'll be talking about this kind of political correctness and so on, which plays an important role in many things. Let's go on. That's the news of the night. Now, what did I want to look at after that? I wanted to look at Argentina. Okay, it's an interesting story. Argentina is considering certain people want to stop drinking alcohol. Argentina wants to impose zero tolerance on drunk driving. So zero tolerance would be absolutely, if you are drinking, you are going to lose your license perhaps or go to jail. Let's see what it is. The Argentine Congress wants to ban all alcohol consumption by drivers. Members of Parliament, MPs, overwhelmingly, which means by a big majority, approved the bill on November 24th. Before something becomes law, it's a bill. It's like an idea. We propose this. If you approve this bill, it will be a law. And senators are due to consider it soon. The wine provinces are against it. Surprise, surprise, which is kind of, we say, surprise, surprise is kind of like saying in Spanish, bueno, bueno. Like, I'm not surprised. It was a very large majority, 193 votes for, and only 19 votes against, and 4 abstentions, people who didn't vote. The bill, it is forbidden to drive any type of vehicle with a blood alcohol level above 0 milligrams per litre of blood. I think the younger generations would be quite used to this now, the zero tolerance on drink driving. Just if you're going to drive, just don't drink at all. We have tolerance in most countries where you can have a small glass of beer or so on, but perhaps maybe the best thing to do is just don't drink and drive. Full stop. Period. Punto. 20 road deaths a day in Argentina. This result transcends the traditional political divide between ruling Peronism and the right-wing opposition. We have heard heartbreaking stories told by families of road accident victims who came to testify from drunk drivers. Yeah, I agree with this legislation to a degree, to a point. But I think often when these people who kill people on the road, often they're very drunk. They're just breaking the law. They know they're going to break the law. It's not about a little bit. But the question would be, if it was banned completely, would these people drink in the first place? So anyway, coming up to Christmas, it's the 1st of December. This is known as the Christmas season, and this is a time of year when people are celebrating work parties, meeting family, and drink driving. Where I'm from, you see the police out in force a lot. The idea is to create cultural change. It's about eliminating the emulation of those who drink 1 or 2 glasses before driving. Whoever drinks should not drive. Whoever drives should not drink. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I remember when I was younger, I just wouldn't drink and drive. I think with the younger generations, this is quite acceptable. Perhaps with the older generations, you're changing a culture, and it's more difficult. But definitely, don't drink and drive. That's it. It's just I will not go. I remember talking to someone recently, and he said he was going to go to a party, and I said somewhere in the conversation it came up that he was going to drive, and I said, "Why are you going? Why would you go to a party if you?" Because in my mind it was like, you can't drink. He goes, I'll have 1 or 2. And then later we talked, and he said he had 1 or 2. But personally, for me, it's a deal breaker. If I can't drink, I'm not going to go. Yeah, so that's personally, I prefer to have a drink if I'm going somewhere. It's kind of a part of my culture, the English UK culture. We like to have a drink. But if I'm going to drive, I'm just not drinking. I'm not going to risk my license and risk having an accident. Okay, right. Now, I wanted to look at this. Where are we? Not this one, probably not this one. And this one is what I wanted to look at. Eurozone in the economy. Let's have a look. Economy. Let's get some vocabulary pronunciation expressions for you guys. Eurozone inflation falls for the first time in 17 months. There we can see a picture of someone in a hair salon or a beauty salon, depending on what they do. Or the hairdressers is a common name. Eurozone inflation falls for the first time in 17 months. Inflation in the Eurozone may have peaked, which means it reaches its highest point, which is the peak of a mountain is the top. With data showing a drop from October's record 10.6% to 10% in November. It is the first decline since June 2021. A drop in energy and services prices led to lower than expected inflation. It could prompt or cause the European Central Bank to opt or to choose for smaller interest rate hikes. Okay, good news. Inflation going down is good. Next, health. Alzheimer's drug trial shown to slow cognitive decline. A new drug, how do I pronounce this? Lecanemab, okay, appears to slow cognitive. Don't blame me. This is not a real word, so it's just some drug they made up. I can pronounce it however I want, and then until they tell me. Lecanemab appears to slow cognitive decline in early stage Alzheimer's by attacking clumps. A clump is like a bunch of protein buildups in the brains of people with the disease. Good news. Trial results showed the drug only had a small effect, and researchers say more work is needed to understand its impact on people's lives. So a small effect, Alzheimer's affecting not just the person, affects the families. It's when people forget who you are, and gradually it gets worse and worse. So any decline or any drug, yes, it's a welcome progress. Leadership, how to be a good leader during a recession. In a bad economy, leaders must find balance to move the business forward while taking their employees' psychological needs into account. Okay, how do we do that? To do this well, leaders must engage with workers without suffocating them. To suffocate is probably similar in your language. It's just being too much. Agobiar, I think. Allow themselves to be questioned and be transparent in terms of workloads. Okay, Yes. Must engage. So to do this well, leaders must engage with workers without suffocating them. Don't give them too much work. Allow themselves to be questioned. Allow workers to question you. And be transparent. Be clear in terms of workloads. Okay. Can't disagree with that. Is it going to happen though? That is the question. Idea of the day: set reminders to be kind to yourself at work. We often make mountains out of molehills. Right, this is a good expression in English, to make a mountain out of a molehill. I can't remember what the expression is in Spanish, so I'm going to look. And just to show you how quick it can be for you as well. To make a mountain out of a molehill. And that is to make, and it gives me the verb to make, and now I have to go all the way down. And it's to make a big problem out of a small problem unnecessarily. So if I scroll down, what I'm doing here is I'm scrolling down the screen, and this is a popular verb, maybe something. So, okay, I don't think I'm going to find this. It's just so many. Give me a second. No, I'm not going to. It's just, I'm scrolling forever. Right, I'm going to just scroll and stop. No. Make a good impression. Dar una buena impresión. There you go. I'll give you something else instead. Anyway, to make a mountain out of a molehill is making a big problem from something that really is small. A molehill is the little animal that's blind, and it makes holes, and it comes up in your garden, if you have garden or land, and it makes these little molehills. And really, I remember the expression, I just can't remember in Spanish. It's on the tip of my tongue. But set reminders to be kind to yourself. We often make mountains out of molehills by overthinking things at work and forgetting to celebrate our own wins and achievements. Writes Lily Vale. That piece of work isn't rubbish. It's actually really good. You deserve to have your voice heard. Work can be overwhelming. Set yourself little reminders like these, okay? Be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself. Okay, and I'm going to be kind to myself right now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my milk in my tea and I'm going to have some. Because when it comes to the afternoon, I explained to you guys earlier that after 12 p.m., it's the afternoon for us. And I don't really drink coffee. I don't really drink coffee at that time. But I will drink tea all day. And as you can see, I'm wearing my body warmer, my gilet, because trying to keep warm. It's getting cold. And of course, the energy prices are going through the roof. Something that has just reminded me. What I want to do now is I want to jump across, and we're going to, in fact, look at our expressions, our idioms, our phrasal verbs. And what have I got for you today? Well, actually, the first one I have for you is, oh, it's a new one already. Okay. Idiom of the day, a flash in the pan. Let me just double check. Yes, a flash in the pan. Okay. So let me explain this to you. A flash in the pan. You can say something or someone is a flash in the pan if they're popular or effective for a short time only. For example, her first song was a big hit, but when Debbie's next song didn't do so well, people started calling her a flash in the pan. I suppose this comes from when when you're cooking in the frying pan, the sartén, and you do something like you shake it and then there's like a flash because the oil catches fire and you get this flash. You often see the chefs, the famous chefs doing it. So when we do it, it's a mistake, but it's this flash in the pan. It only lasts very briefly. Dave says he doesn't mind being called a flash in the pan because he still gets money for the buck he wrote, even though he never wrote another one. So sometimes, yes, you get these artists or singers, and they have one famous song, and we call those in English a one-hit wonder. That's when you just have one hit. And let me see. I can't think of anybody at the moment, a flash in the pan, but just somebody who's really popular for a short period of time, and then they pretty much disappear. But if you're an artist and you have a song, the perfect type of song that you really want to be a flash in the pan for is a Christmas song, because the Christmas songs will be repeated every year. On that topic, I read recently that Mariah Carey and her song All I Want for Christmas is really, really popular at Christmas time. Every shop plays it. She gets a lot of royalties. The royalties is the money you receive for your work. So when radio stations or play her music, they have to pay her a royalty, which is perhaps, or Spotify will pay her 2 cents for every play, 1 cent, I don't know. Anyway, she wanted to, what's the word? She wanted to register her name as the Queen of Christmas. She wanted to have it registered so that people would have to pay to use it, or she would be known by this. Anyway, it was rejected, luckily, and but her company put forward basically to have a patent, patente, to have a patent on the Queen of Christmas, but it was rejected. Right. That's that one. Let's go and see what else we have. Phrasal verb of the day. That was the idiom. Answer back. To answer back to somebody is to reply rudely to someone who is in a position of authority, such as a teacher, a parent, or a coach. Coach, like in a football coach, for example. Harry's students don't respect him. Some of them even answer back rudely when he asks them to do something. So my son answers his mother back when she tells him to do something like clean his room. He says things like, clean it yourself. So if you're rude back to a teacher, if you say something back to your parents and you're rude, this is answering back. Don't answer back. Would be what the teacher would say or what your parents will say. So it is used, it is universal. It sounds strange perhaps, but it is. If a parent would hear their children, they'd say, don't answer back to your mother, don't answer back to your father, don't answer back to me like that. And someone in a position of authority, yes, to answer back. Slang. Let's see what we have. Joke. Okay. A person or a thing that's ridiculous and doesn't deserve respect. This is a good example. Our healthcare system is a joke. One of the most expensive and least effective systems in the world. Our new IT manager is a joke. He couldn't even format the new server properly. Yes. We use this very, very commonly in English. It's when you want to say something is ridiculous, we say it's a joke. She's a joke, he's a joke, it's a joke. Yes, we use it. Use it yourself today. I'm sure you have good reason to. All right, saying of the day. These ones are generally the worst ones. Okay. Fortune favors the bold. I've heard this, yeah. Successful people are often those who are prepared to take risks. Like I said before, to be bold is kind of to be daring, to take risks. When I was younger, to be bold was we used for to be naughty. Don't be naughty because you're being risky in your behavior. Perhaps if you answer back to your parents, you're being bold. But in an adult sense, it means to be risky. So fortune favors the bold. Successful people are often those who are prepared to take risks. Okay. Good. So there's some interesting things there today. Some interesting things. Right. Tea time again. Like I said, you're going to be, during these business hours, you're going to be learning all different types of things if you stay for the business hour. It's me, James O Reilly, business coach, and I'm here to help you with all things English. And it's, of course, in association with LK Formación, tailor-made solutions for your business. Hop over to the website lkformacion.com. When we talk about online stuff, we're talking about .com. When we're talking about numbers, we say 6.3%, for example. And I want to jump across now, and I want to talk to you about 5 tips. What were they? 5 tips for surviving your job search journey. So if you are in the market for looking for a job, we have a post from this girl, and it's motivational of how to stay positive while you are looking for a new job. A lot of people are looking for jobs. A lot of people are trying to improve their English in order to help them get a job, but also you do need a bit of motivation when you are looking for your job. So let's see what this girl, let's give her a well-deserved shout out. It's Kelly Breidenbau. That's at kellybreidenbau.com. And let's see what she says. Number 1 for Kelly is to maintain a work-life balance. Okay, we're not going to disagree. Let's make it a bit bigger. Searching, filtering, and applying for jobs can feel like a full-time job, and it can take just as many hours. That's why you need to find time to step away, close the laptop, and do something for yourself. Get some fresh air, call a friend to catch up, or read a couple of chapters of a book, perhaps. Anything that will divert your brain from focusing on the search. So take breaks. Looking for a new job is like a job in itself, but take time to get away. 5-minute breaks. You shouldn't be working 24/7. This is how we use this expression, 24/7, 365. So if you've been falling asleep in bed, scrolling job sites as the last thing you do at night and the first thing in the morning, give yourself a break. Okay, so work-life balance. Number 2, switch it up. Commonly used expression in the English world, so let's get the sense of what it means. Switch it up means to change things. So every so often, play around, which means change. Play around with changing your job description keywords. For example, maybe you've only been searching for teacher positions, or you're only going to see openings for that exact word. So instead of just saying, I'm a teacher, like me, I could use instructor, coach, educator, trainer, and see what appears, see what comes up. What is the best way to find new search terms? There's an old right-click synonym trick that can get you some fresh words, or you can take it up a notch and use keyword search tools and websites. These tools usually used for search engine optimization, SEO, search engine optimization, or search engine marketing. But isn't that what you're doing when you're jobbing it? Using search engines to display different results. Play around with some different combinations, okay? So use different words in the search engine and also in your keyword descriptions. Switch it up. Why not? Why not? Don't limit yourself. Companies have to pay to have their job postings on most sites, which means they might not be advertising on every site. So what should you do? Take the extra few minutes to set up your profile on a handful of sites. Un puñado. And you can also control your email preferences, and most sites have the ability to send you daily recommended job postings. You receive job posting on LinkedIn, for example. You can get it sent to your email from different jobs. Okay, that's interesting. Here are a couple of sites you can use for job searching: LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, Monster, and Simply Hired. Let me highlight these for you. LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, Monster, and Simply Hired. All right, and number 4, increase your surface area for serendipity. Okay. Oh yeah, this was something related. So I have to credit it to entrepreneurial guru Ryan Miller. This point, but what does it mean? That's what we want to know. Well, if you want to get lucky, increase your opportunities to get lucky. In the context of the lottery, you would have to buy more lottery tickets. In the job search context, it says involves not just applying to more jobs, but also talking to as many people as you can. So after I was laid off, I drafted a text to some of my friends, letting them know the unfortunate news. And I also included that I was seeking a content development role in the educational tech industry. So just spreading it out, getting in contact with people. So by having more ears and eyes out there, who knows when one of them might overhear a neighbor talking about a job opportunity. Okay. And finally, stay positive. You might think this is me trying to wrap up the article. Feel good. Unemployment and depression are inextricably linked. During the job searching process, day after day, week after week, feelings of rejection, worry and apprehension can compound and lead to dark cloud over your head. That's why it's essential to do your best to remain optimistic, be patient, clarify your career goals and what really matters to you, and let those values guide and keep you moving forward. Yes, sometimes it's just good often to read positive things, read a happy book, look at funny videos. Just keep yourself motivated. Because looking for a new job is it's not the best, you've got negative thoughts, but trying to stay positive in whatever works for you. Okay, do your best. Right. So this is what I want to move on to next, was the 4-day working week. How do you guys feel about the idea of working 4 days a week? Do you think you would be more productive? Do you think you would get more done? Do you think your job should give you the opportunity? I know here in this country, for example, in the summer hours, you finish earlier and you get all of your work done. So why not compress or condense those working hours into 4 days a week? Well, some companies in the UK have been looking at this. They have been trialing it. To trial something is to try, basically. And we've got some results. One of the roughly 100 British companies, 100, or let's say 100 British companies moved to a permanent 4-day week for thousands of workers without docking their pay in UK first. To dock someone's pay is to take away some of their pay. For example, if you are late for work, if you don't come to work, if you don't work some days, your pay, your wages will be docked. Your salary is what you get paid at the end of the year, or like that's your yearly pay, but what you get at the end of the month is your wages, and your wages will be docked some of its money. So I want to get down to the nitty gritty, and I want to have a look at some of the results of this. A trial of the 4-day working week in France previously found workers were putting in the same amount of hours even with a day fewer. So France was showing positive results. I want to have a look at some numbers now. I want to get a look at the results. Okay. So some of these companies did a trial, and let's see. In September, 88% of those companies in a survey at the middle of the trial said the 4-day working week was working well for their business at that stage of the trial. So midway during the trial, I don't know how long it went on for, perhaps, let's say, a year. It was working well for 88% of the companies. 95% of the companies surveyed said productivity had either... Okay, this is what I'm going to come to a grammar point in a second. Had either stayed the same or improved since the introduction. So the productivity had stayed the same or improved. 95%. So it hadn't gone down. But what I want to show you here is when we say here we have had either, this word either, and then this will always be followed by or. Had either stayed the same or improved. Had either reduced or stagnated. So when we say this, we say either or. In other countries, like here in Spain, you'll say o, whatever. O stayed the same, o improved. But in English, it's either or. And the negative would be had neither stayed the same nor improved. Okay, little grammar point for you. The more important would be the positive one, either stayed the same or. I will either go skiing for my winter holidays or go to New York. Either or. However, only around half of those taking part, 41, responded to a survey with nearly 9 in 10 of the respondents saying that they would keep the scheme in place beyond the trial period. However, only half of those thinking about it. Okay. So it's looking good. 9 in 10 said they would keep the scheme in place. The scheme is the project. 15% surveyed, encuesta is a survey, claimed that productivity had surged dramatically, while the remainder recorded either no change or only a slight improvement in output. Companies previously said they had struggled with... what we call this is in the beginning of the trial of 4 days, some of the companies had problems. They struggled to with the rota. The rota is, okay, you will work, it's the turnos, the rota or the shifts, staff confusion, staff is the personnel. After rolling out the 4-day week, with bosses admitting that they doubted the policy could survive. Well, normally when you roll things out, when you start something, it's going to be difficult. It's more like, Samantha Lucy, boss of communications firm Unity, told The Telegraph last month, it's more likely that we won't carry on now. So we won't continue. Carry on is to continue. Sometimes if you're in a meeting and you want somebody to continue, if you maybe interrupt, you say, the situation, you go, carry on, continue, or go ahead. One of the things that has struck me is whether or not we are a mature enough business to be able to handle the 4-day week. The fact that a lot of people, a lot of other companies in the world are not doing a 4-day week is a challenge. However, towards the end of the trial, it seems that despite the rough times she acknowledged during the changeover process, her attitude towards the concept was much more positive. So she changed her mind. She didn't think they would continue. And then the outcomes we're experiencing, such as better, higher and positive team culture shift, are reassuring that the bumps in the road are exponentially worth it. Yes. Yes, I was just talking to some students earlier and we were talking about the word bump. Bump, B-U-M-P, bump. A bump is when you, let's say, hit your head, you get a bump. And when you're driving on the road in your car, or you're in a bus, or you're in transport, you know, this is smooth, the road is smooth, but if it's like this, it's bumpy. So often you'll use this in a business sense of it was a bumpy road at first, but then everything started to go smoothly. And you can use this as like just a metaphor. So yeah, it looks like it's a bit difficult in the beginning, but then later things start to smooth out and get easier. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Here we have a picture of one of the train stations. That looks familiar to me. I think I don't know. It could be Waterloo. Yeah, I don't know. Okay then. So how do you guys feel from a management perspective? 4-day working week, is it worth it? Is it going to be too difficult? In some countries, as you can see here, it's working well for most people. But then, of course, like I said before, in those countries, in certain countries, people have more strict working hours and they leave on time. Here in Spain, it's a bit more tricky, I think. People work longer hours. So why would management want them to work a 4-day week when they can just make them work more anyway? But it seems that the staff are happier. There's a better culture. There's a better team feeling. Let me know how you feel. Give me some idea in the comments. Okay, and another thing I wanted to look at. Oh, it's disappeared on me. I was going to look at some of the idioms. Okay, but sure, they're gone. All right. And that was it. So what have we done? We've done the 100 British, the companies that are going to go towards a 4-day week. We've looked at our language, word of the day, idiom of the day, phrasal verb of the day. We've been looking up vocabulary. We've looked at that. We've looked at Argentina. 5 tips for surviving your job. And finally, I think I'm going to look at this. Last thing was career advice, the balance, just the 5 steps. Okay. Once you know you've lost your job, which is happening to a lot of people, we're going to look at these 5 tips to make sure to do. So once you know you're going to lose your job is 1, make sure that holiday pay, overtime, and other payments you might receive are correct. So in advance, don't wait for the last minute when they send it to you just before you're leaving. Ask for it as early as you can in advance what the numbers will be. Because often you'll say, I'm leaving a job, or they're going to let you go, or laying you off and you're a bit. Get the numbers as early as possible, because when you contact them, it could be quite late and you're already gone and they don't care about you. But if you get in early and you say, that doesn't look right, I haven't received a bonus, I was part of that team, I have worked in fact for this long, because often when you raise the topic the first time, they will say, oh, that's from the finance department, I don't know. So it's different departments working with each other, human resources, finance, your own department. Get the numbers correct. Okay, I agree with that. Number 2, check on the status of your severance package. To sever is to cut. So check on the status of your severance package. That's pretty much what we were talking about. What are you expected to receive when you are laid off? Is there a redundancy payment because they're letting you go? Are you supposed to make sure again that the figures are correct? Number 3, find out what unemployment benefits you're entitled to. There may be variations in different European countries. So there certainly are different variations. If you work here in Spain, you will be entitled to perhaps a certain amount of money for working a certain amount of years. If you take that over to Belgium, it could be different. If the company you're working for is based in the UK, what does that mean for you? Find out this information and what unemployment benefits will be given to you from the government. This is why we have unemployment benefit, is to help you when you lose your job, and you have been paying into the system as well for this moment. So take the money that you are deserved and all those benefits that you deserve. Get references is the next one. Number 4, when laid off, you might ask for a letter of recommendation. References are people for who you have worked with, worked for. Get references from those people who can help you when you are looking for a new job and they say, do you have any references? And get the references from the people, let them know you are looking, and that perhaps they will receive an email or a call. And finally, start your job search by updating your CV and your LinkedIn profile. Register with job boards or recruiters and start networking. Okay, get yourself out there. And like it was in the last one, just put yourself on different platforms so you start getting interest from people as quickly as possible. Okay, then that's what we're going to do for today. We are going to leave it at that. We've covered quite a few things in this business hour, more or less a business hour. And I hope this can be helpful to you. Keep an eye out. I'm going to be advertising soon for the times that I'm going to be on. And remember, just here to help you guys improve in your business area of English, also in your social English as well, which is very important. I will be helping you in that area. Give me a like in the comments. It really helps me know that you guys are listening. I'm really appreciate it. Also, if you are looking for subtitles, go over and check it out on YouTube. After a bit, it will bring up the captions naturally. Okay, so thanks very much indeed for watching, and I will talk to you next week. So have a good one and enjoy your days off. Okay,